Please welcome Dr. Letitia Plummer.
For centuries, our womanhood has been defined by two things: our beauty and our fertility. We hear all the time how important it is to be beautiful. As a matter of fact, the commercial industries have spent trillions of dollars selling beauty to us. But what about fertility? Every little girl wants to grow up and be a mom. It's what we've been taught culturally. It's the expectation. In some cultures, if you're not able to have a baby, then you're not worthy of being a wife. When I turned 41 years old, my then husband and I wanted to have another child. We wanted to add to our already beautifully blended family. But I started noticing some things happening in my body. I noticed I was incredibly irritable. I couldn't sleep at night. And when I did sleep, I'd wake up in a bed of wet sweat. I was really depressed. I was irritable. I had these personal summers that we hear all the time. I just didn't understand what was going on because I was 41 years old. I'd heard about perimenopause, and our grandmamas would talk about what was going on, but not for one moment did I think that anything like this was happening to me. I talked to my then husband and said, I need to go to the doctor because something really weird is going on. My cycle is incredibly irregular. And then one day it just stopped. On my doctor's visit, I got my blood work done, and my doctor told me that you are menopausal. And I looked at her like she had lost her mind. I thought this was supposed to take a long time to happen. I didn't know it was supposed to happen in a couple of months. No one warned me or protected me or prepared me for this. I knew my mom went through menopause in her mid-50s, and my grandmother went through menopause in her mid-50s as well. So why me? Why now? And when I asked that question to my doctor, she told me, don't worry. Everyone has this experience differently. You're going to be okay. We'll just put you on some medication. Now, this was disrupting my entire family. I was supposed to be able to have a child. I was supposed to be a woman. It questioned everything about me, everything that I thought was real in terms of what defined me. I honestly believed that I lost my womanhood, that my purpose wasn't there anymore. Now, I'm a lucky one. I was able to have 3 young boys, and now they're teenagers, and I love watching them grow. But oftentimes, women don't have that opportunity, and we don't know what's happening to our bodies. And so, because I know that science defines everything and has some level of expectation, I dug a lot deeper. And I wanted to figure out why this was happening to me, because I knew it was happening to other women like me. So in my research, I found a word called weathering. Now, weathering is a word that was coined by Arlene Geronimus, and she's actually the author of the book Weathering. And it was interesting because it talked about how African American women age more rapidly than anyone else because of the stressors and the microaggressions that we experience as Black women more often than anyone else. Our environment toxins, our inability to be able to thrive, the disruptions that we see in society, the racial challenges that we find. And it dawned on me that maybe this is the answer. But then in her research, she talked about women of lower income, almost making an excuse for why they would be dealing with something versus me. And I was raised in a pretty middle-class family, so I didn't have those same level of stressors, not knowing where I could live or when the next meal was going to come. But then I found something really interesting. She talked about the coping mechanism of having to work hard. To remember the saying, I'm tired of being tired? So this redefined what I understood. As Black women, we fight so hard to do more, to be great, to be powerful, to be strong. So it doesn't matter about your socioeconomic background or what your academic level is. From childhood, and sometimes the research is showing that this stress can transfer through the placenta. So Black women don't have a fighting chance oftentimes. It can change the trajectory of where you are. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a scientist, so I'm even more inquisitive to understand how this is happening. Now, our DNA is broken down into segments. And in those segments, at the tips of them, almost like your shoestrings, the plastic tips on your shoestrings, they're called telomeres. And these telomeres are there to allow us to protect our chromosomes, our genetics. That's the purpose of it. But cortisol, which is a stress hormone, actually decreases the opportunity of those telomeres to be strong. So what we find is those telomeres shorten in places of stress. Shortened telomeres creates aging. So let's use an example that most of us can probably understand. What if a lion is chasing you? Lion's chasing you, you're running, all these hormones are released, epinephrine, norepinephrine, fight or flight. Your body has to be strong to do and escape the danger. What if another lion chases you? Our body still is able to create homeostasis, balances everything out, everything levels off. What if another lion comes, and another one, and another one, and they just keep on coming and you can't catch a break? That is called allostasis. And that's when our body is trying to deal with all the chronic challenges that are happening to us. And these are small microaggressions, y'all. This doesn't have to be something big. This is not being able to put food on the table or dealing with a landlord that has you living in a slumlord space or someone that has an academic level that wants to advance in that C-suite. And she can't. She keeps on getting overlooked by somebody else. And somebody else keeps on getting that job. It's a small microaggressions of having to be beautiful and be fertile and be strong for everyone else and not yourself. Those microaggressions cause those levels to continue, those negative levels to continue. And when that happens, we end up in allostatic load. And that is when everything starts to break down. Now, they say Black don't crack. But on the inside, we do. We break down on the inside, but the societal realms are so heavy on us. The expectation of us always having to be strong, regardless of what we're experiencing, is something that we always are having to manage. Black women lead in preterm labor. We lead in maternal mortality. We have the highest level of low birth rates than any other race. Do you all know that by the age of 50, 60% of African American women will have more than 2 comorbidities? We're talking about high blood pressure, diabetes, endocrine challenges. That is happening to us. And the ageless phenomenon says, oh no, but that can't be happening to you because if you eat right and you meditate and you go to yoga, everything will be okay. But I'm here to tell you it's not. We experience something different. Weathering can have 2 connotations. It can have one of destruction, but it also can have one of resilience. We are strong and we are resilient, but we have to recognize what is happening to our bodies. When you're on an airplane, the first thing the pilot says is put your mask on first in case of emergency. And I'm telling you, if you don't do that, then you can't take care of the ones you love. Yes, we are strong. Yes, Black women are profound and excellent. But sometimes it's too much pressure. It's insurmountable at times. And I understand that. So I'm here to tell you that you can reverse your age. Because I am biologically 55 years old. And chemically, in my body, I am 52. So you don't need a gym membership to go work out. You can walk around the block. You can go to the mall and do walks. Get your steps in. You don't have to have a yoga instructor teach you how to practice yoga. Get up one day and bend over and just stretch those muscles. Sometimes those babies keep on driving us crazy. Go in your closet and close the door and take a moment. That is all you need to get yourself together. Sometimes we have to armor ourselves with prayer. We also have to armor ourselves with breath. I'm here to tell you there's an opportunity for us to reverse this cycle as Black women. It is not an excuse. We are strong and we are just as profound as everyone says we are, but we have to take care of ourselves first. And what we have to do before anything else is just breathe. Thank you.